This week you are going to enlarge 3 of your refined drawings from the Geometric and Organic Lines and Shapes project. So in the end you will have 1 geometric, 1 organic, and 1 mixed drawing that is enlarged to a 5" by 5" square on Bristol board and in marker. So to do that, you will create a grid on your smaller drawing. This is my 2.5 by 2.5" square. Now I placed a piece of tracing paper over top of my initial drawing. You don't have to do that. I just didn't want to mark up my original. So you're going to measure out 1¼ inches to the center and draw a line. Remember, giving yourself 2 marks and connecting dots, at least 2 marks, will make your line straight. And then also 1¼ inches to the center here and make that mark. Each of these other squares are 5/8 by 5/8 inches. So you'll make those marks and draw out your grid. And then on a sheet of Bristol board, you will do, here's the math for marking out your 5 by 5 square on that 9 by 12 sheet of paper. So remember when we made your templates out of that black paper, we did some math. So you have 9 minus 5 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. So on your 9" side, your border here will be 2 inches and 2 inches. And then 12 minus 5 is 7, divided by 2 is 3.5. So the top and bottom frame will be 3.5 inches. Now, if you'd like, you can draw this out once on a sheet of Bristol board and then cut out a template so that for all 3 designs, you just lay this down and make your marks to add that square, or you can measure it out 3 different times over. That's completely up to you and how you want your workflow to go. But in making the grid, you're going to come in 2.5 inches to the center from left to right and top to bottom, and then your other squares, the smaller ones, will be 1¼ inches and 1¼ inches. So clearly I've already done this to save time on the video, but you are going to concentrate on each square and just replicate it. And I know I kind of touched on this last week in the video I made for you, but I just hand drew all of this. Again, you can be really specific and do other measurements so that you get it exactly right. It took me a little bit of time. I had some miss marks, and that's just going to happen. So that is how you're going to enlarge. And then you're going to, whichever design you chose from your refined drawings, you'll use your marker to fill it in and use an eraser to get rid of any of your grid marks or any pencil marks that end up being left behind that your marker did not cover. Something else that I wanted to let you know now, I suggested on your discussion board which designs that I think you should enlarge. However, it is going to be completely up to you. In the end, this is your design process. If you feel like you want to pursue another one, that is fine. If you feel like you want to work on one a little further before you move from the 2.5 by 2.5 to the 5" square, you can do that. But something I forgot to share with you in terms of copying is that if you've marked out, even if it isn't on tracing paper, if it's in your sketchbook and you flip the page over and you add some lead to the back of your markings, and you don't have to be super specific in the first place. You just want to get lead somewhere along the lines that you want to copy. And truly, I could fill in this whole thing with pencil. And then wherever you want to copy it, I'm going to use my sketchbook for that. And again, I would tape it down just to be safe. But you mark over the top of those lines. And I would be using a ruler if this was something that I was serious about. And you get the mark. So that's another way to copy one of your designs. All right. So you have discussion board this week where you're going to post your final 5 by 5" squares. And also I'd like for you to comment on the refined drawings that were turned in for this past week. Comment on at least 2 of your classmates' work and give them some critique. The balance project we will revisit next week and do this same process all over again, where you whittle down your designs and then refine them into just 3 finished pieces. So if you have any questions about any of this, please let me know.